Hey guys, we are back. It's another edition of the Mayor's monthly morning update. I feel like we're here on a news show. But I'm Mayor Bradburn, of course, and this is our Director of Parks and Recreation, Scott Earl. He's joining us today. So I think everybody knows this month our Facebook Live is going to revolve around our Parks and Recreation department. So we've gotten a number of questions that have come in over the past week, but as you trickle in here now watching it live, if you have a question about Sandy City Parks, go ahead and fire away. So as we get rolling, let me turn it over to Scott for just a minute. Why don't you kind of introduce yourself, Scott, to residents if they don't know you, and kind of give us a little bit about the department.
Good. Well, thanks, Mayor. So my name's Scott Earl. I'm the Parks and Rec Director. So I've been with the city for a little bit over 30 years. And we have parks, trails, and cemetery under our Parks Division. And then our Recreation Division, which does all kinds of event planning and events and recreation programs for our citizens. And then we have Alta Canyon Recreation Center, which is our sports center up on 20th East. And then we have our River Oaks Golf Course, which is down just near the Jordan River there on 90th South. And so it's a fairly big department. We have 49 full-time employees. New this year is events is going to be under Parks and Recreation that we're really excited about and have been planning and have implemented a lot of new events and things like that for the citizens. Try to get events for every age group that we possibly can, big and small events. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome, Scott. Yeah, and I think just a little tidbit, a kind of fun fact, Sandy City has 32 parks, is that right?
Right, 32 parks.
So that's a lot.
Yeah, we have about 1,300 acres of open space and about 320 or so acres of park, about 60 acres of building type maintenance, and maybe 50 or so acres of streetscapes or medians and things like that we maintain.
That's phenomenal. So yeah, huge thank you to Scott and his whole team. They do a great job of keeping our parks beautiful and fun. So okay, how are we doing?
No comments yet.
No comments yet. Okay. So why don't we just go ahead and like I said, we got a number of them that came in throughout the week since we posted this was coming up. So why don't we just go ahead and kind of work our way through some of these questions, and we'll see if we get any coming in live as well. So
sounds great.
Okay, so the first one is from Amber. She said, what is the plan for updating the lighting at Crescent Park, and when will that take place? Will the unlit crosswalk be fixed anytime soon? So have you guys started to work through some of the lighting issues there?
So we haven't. We talked about this because this question came in, and we actually have a light just west of the crosswalk, but because of the trees and different things on that northeast corner of the park, I think an additional light would be very helpful. And so I can get with our utilities department and see if they will look at that and see what they think of that. But they actually do the street lighting in the city. Okay,
so maybe we'll put that down. We'll follow up with utilities and see what their plan is for putting an additional street light there. Okay, so Josh asked, Sandy City needs a second skate park and one with a big bowl with vertical. Any chance of that happening? So Josh, that's a great question. The only reason I sort of chuckle is because there's a lot of things we need more of, and I think Scott can attest to this. A lot of it just comes down to funding. I don't know the exact costs on a skate park, but I imagine it's significant. So anyway, we'll continue to, we sort of have this growing list, whether it's Alta Canyon, whether it's additional upgrades to existing parks. There is this growing need of investment into our parks infrastructure, so to speak, and other assets. So
I could probably comment a little bit too, Mayor. So the first skate park that we did, I mean, it's really nice, and per square foot, it services more recreation needs than, say, a soccer field or a baseball field or tennis court. And so we would love to put an additional skate park in the city, but we're probably talking around $1 million.
Yeah.
And so we just, as a city right now, don't have those kind of funds to put towards that.
But for example, we do, where we can, we try to invest and make upgrades. For example, we have, in fact, we're sitting here in front of our new playground at Flatiron, right next to the new water tank that went in. So So we are actively trying to, keep our parks up to speed, but like Scott mentioned, I don't know that we could do $1 million investment as the way things sit right now.
So this playground, as you're looking at it, is probably in the $135,000 range, and then we have a big, huge baseball net that's coming after July that services as a climbing feature and then as a slide, and so that will complete this one. And then after July, we're going to be replacing the playground at Falcon Park. So all of our playgrounds hitting about 30 years old at the same time and need to be replaced and updated. So this is more of an active playground and really fun.
Good. Awesome. Okay, so stay tuned, Josh. I guess nothing definitive yet, but we'll keep working toward it. So Debbie Jackson asked, what's the long-term plan for a parking lot at Sandy Civic Center track station after all the construction is done? There's never any parking near the station. So this, I guess, doesn't have anything to do with parks. But Debbie, it's a great question. So the Sandy Civic Center, that's the one on Beet Digger Boulevard, 9800 South there, that intersection. So they are finishing the final phase of those condos and apartments. And so once that happens, we've had this question come up a number of times about the parking on the street there and kind of the danger that it presents. So as soon as that last phase is finished, we'll continue to work through the parking issues and make sure there's adequate parking and that it's safe for people to cross, especially students going back and forth. We did get that crosswalk put in already, and the lights for that are being installed soon as well. So Debbie, we'll continue to make sure that area is safe and has enough parking for it. Okay. Anything live yet, Kel?
We have a couple questions. Rudy said, good morning, not Parks and Rec related, but can you provide an update on the different fluoride contamination investigations? Thank you.
Sure. Is that from Rudy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Morning to you too, Rudy. Yes, we can take a break for just a second from parks and we can talk about the fluoride incident for just a minute. Everything is still moving forward in terms of investigations, so there's not a whole lot we can comment on right now, but the investigations that are out there, the first one is a regulatory investigation. There's the EPA and the State Division of Drinking Water are working with us on a number of sort of reporting things and sampling and information that they want. And so that's ongoing. Separate from that, we retained counsel and engineering firm to look into our response as a department and sort of what we can do better that way. And so that investigation is also still ongoing. Hopefully that'll be wrapped up within the next month or so. But again, and then the third piece of that is really our communications and our emergency management. We're looking for firms to come in and help us sort of audit our communications and emergency management, make sure we're doing everything we can, that we're cutting edge, and make sure we're prepared for the next emergency. So those are kind of the three pillars that we're working through right now, and hopefully within the next month or two we should get most of those wrapped up. So okay, hopefully that answered that, Rudy. Okay, let's jump back to a parks one. Jessica Dalton asked, what barriers are we facing when thinking about a youth sports gear swap or garage sale? I can't be the only one that has to buy new cleats every season. Passing them off to another family would be so much better than throwing them in the DI pile. I think that's a fabulous idea. I don't know if we've, as a city, have you guys ever facilitated like a uniform swap or like I mean, I know you kind of purchase the uniform when you sign up for the sport.
Right. So I think they're talking about like shin guards and cleats and maybe helmets and things like that. So we had an email from a citizen that our recreation staff received about this issue. I don't know if it was the same gal, but they're thinking through maybe doing something at a skate park night, kind of a family night at a skate park. But then, other comments included, maybe do some swap on KSL and different things like that, or with social groups or with a community group in your neighborhood or area, or with the teams that you're familiar with and things. But I think it's a good idea. Yeah, we could explore that for sure. See if we could maybe put something together before a new, the new season starts. Okay. So Linda Jensen asked, walk every day at various parks and there seems to be less upkeep being done. We also find dogs off leash and dog messes everywhere.
So Linda, I can just I'll let you speak to kind of the maintenance, but in terms of the there's another question on here about off-leash dogs. So it is not legal within Sandy City to have your dog off leash at one of our parks. So we do ask that you be a responsible dog owner and keep them on leash. We've had some incidences recently with bites and whatnot. So we would encourage that at our parks. But I don't know if you want to address the maintenance, upkeep.
Yeah, so maintenance obviously top huge priority to us
Yeah.
as Parks and Rec Department. We take a lot of pride in it, and so it's early in the spring still.
Yeah.
We're still getting fertilizer down and sprinkling systems open and drinking fountains and restrooms and stuff on. But with the economy being as hot as it is,
Yeah.
we're having a really hard time. We really do most of our work and workload with seasonal employees.
Yeah.
And so right now we have a great group of seasonal staff that come back year after year.
Yeah.
And then we're waiting for high school and college, and we have some great application and candidates to hire when they get out of high school and college for their break. And then we also encourage senior citizens to apply, and good people to apply for parks and recreation positions, because really it's a matter of labor and hitting it at the right time. But we do take a lot of pride in the maintenance and upkeep of our city parks.
And you guys do a phenomenal job. And this may be a great time, Linda, to just make a plug again for our app, CityServe. So if you happen to be at a park and you notice something, whether it's maintenance or graffiti or anything, you can go ahead and take a picture just on your phone with the app and submit it. It'll go right to Scott's department, and then we can get out and fix it as soon as possible. So.
And that app seems to be working really, really well. I mean, sometimes we'll get photos in from some trails in remote areas that it would be hard for the public to describe it, like
absolutely.
where this is.
Right.
And so once we have a picture, then we can, geo-address it,
Pinpoint
and
it,
we know where it is and what the problem is. So it's been working really well.
Awesome. Yeah. So another plug for City Serve there. Okay. How are we doing on the live questions?
Working.
No more? Okay. Okay, then we'll just keep working our way through here. Aaron Dixon asks, with all of the new planning and growth, is there a general plan to include park space in these new developments? And yes, Aaron, the short answer is yes, we try to maintain, depending on the type of development it is, oftentimes they're required to reserve a certain amount of space for kind of open space or kind of what you would normally consider park space.
Passive recreation,
yeah. Thanks, Scott. So we do try to include those in new developments, but as everybody's pretty much aware here in Sandy, we're almost entirely built out, so there's not a whole lot of ground to sort of take advantage of and put parks in.
Right.
That's why most of our efforts now are on maintenance and upkeep of our existing facilities. So.
But as the mayor indicated, a lot of that, when that development comes in those open spaces, we so more of a smaller park.
Yeah.
Kind of picnic areas, volleyball court.
Yeah.
Kind of passive recreation type use.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's important to us.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Cameron White asked, let's get that bike pump track put in above Albion this year. How can I help? That's a great question, Cameron. So again, I chuckle a little bit because we've been heavily. I think the Quill Hollow Park there above Albion has been a hot topic for everybody in the past year or so. We held a number of town halls and conducted a survey of thousands of residents. So we're still in the process of gathering that information and kind of feedback from all of you. So no definitive decision has been made yet, but I know a mountain bike park pump track was one of the options on there, so it is something we are looking at exploring.
And I think it's a really good location for something like that, because we do have a lot of open space and the terrain changes, and it just fits the area, I think, and so we're kind of excited. That's part of, if we do move forward with the master plan, one of the things that I want to include in it.
Right, absolutely. And again, it all kind of trickles back to even if we decided to put a pump track in there, again, the development costs are something that we are still, it's going to take some planning and time to actually budget for that. So, okay. Okay, Tyson asked, are dogs supposed to, so this is another question about on leash, off leash. he's been to a number of parks where dogs have been off leash. So again, just to reiterate, I know your guys and gals probably see it a lot over the spring and summer, but a lot of people do let their dogs off leash at our parks. Just know that's not that's against our ordinance, and we'd ask everybody to try to. You never quite know what your dog's going to do when they come up on somebody, and anyway, it just helps everybody stay safe. So,
right.
Anything else you want to add about dogs in our
No,
park?
it's just that a lot of the environment includes families and small kids and things, and most of the dogs are great, and most of the dog owners are fantastic, and it's just which one is going to misbehave at the wrong time,
Right.
And so that can be problematic.
Right. Okay. Gina asked, why did swim team at Alta Canyon increase $135 per kid? And we were just discussing this beforehand, but I'll let you just kind of talk briefly. I mean, generally speaking, I can just speak citywide. Our fees, do increase each year to cover increasing costs just from inflation and how everything gets more expensive every year. But I think this one in particular, you guys had some specific needs you wanted to try to cover.
So the ACES program at Alta Canyon is a really popular program. There's over 100 kids that swim in it. It's a league program. They took second in the league championships last year, so they're good too. Yeah. It's a good swim team. We have a coach that's assigned with the youth, and the reason for the upgrade is most of the cost increase was a couple years ago, and it was basically just to become competitive with the other leagues and the other programs so that we could actually pay the coach and things like that. And so this increase this year, the participants wanted to have a certain type of swimsuit. And so it used to be that the participants would pay for those suits, and this year the program will pay for those suits, and they're fairly expensive. I think they're around $50 for the suit. And so typically if there's a cost increase, it's typically for the program and to cover those specific expenses. But it's a very popular program, and lots of kids do it.
And I think you pointed out that ACES is still lower than the other swim teams around, even with this increase.
So in the league, we're still less than 5 of the other programs by a couple $100. So we're still very competitive with the price.
Awesome. That's great. Okay. Let's see. Sarah Hines asked, when does trail construction start on the trail between Edgemont Elementary and Bear Park? Is that on do you have a timeline?
Yeah, so Mayor, that one happens to be, so Sandy City has finished the one between Draper and 106 South. We call it the Canal Trail. So it's about 8th East, and it runs from Draper City, and Draper City goes further south, but then it comes back north to 106 South. So that's the section that Sandy City is responsible for, and it's complete. It's a multi-use trail. It's probably about 12 foot wide. We have a soft surface runs parallel with it, and then some minimal landscaping and irrigation throughout the area. And then Salt Lake County actually will pick it up from 106 South and take it across Dimpledale and complete their section to 9400 South. And so that's going through our planning commission now. It's been tabled. It got tabled at our last planning commission because there needed to be some more neighborhood input on that. But I expect it to move forward, and I would imagine it will be complete this year.
Okay, and that's the portion with the bridge, is that right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so so it is moving forward. Hopefully we'll have some more concrete date as we go along here. Okay. Let's see. Matt asked, I have some projects that I would like to propose to you for your parks, trails, and golf course. Oh, can I set up a time to come and tell you more about it? I think both Scott and I are always willing to listen to any ideas you have. So we would welcome that. You can feel free to email me. It's just mayor@sandy.utah.gov, and we'd be happy to have a chat about some of your ideas. So
yeah, that's kind of exciting. Just give us an idea of what topics you want to cover, and then the mayor and I can have the appropriate staff at the meeting to make sure that we get it covered correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think we hit the list.
Perfect, because we have a couple questions.
Okay.
So Jamie says that they have an older gentleman in a wheelchair in their neighborhood at about 8600 South and 20th East. He cleans up all the sidewalks and trees. Can someone please make sure that he is taken care of?
Yes, absolutely. That's pretty close to actually where I live, and not too far from where we are here. So
So the guy's
Do you
awesome.
know him?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so our staff has stopped by to talk to him and stuff like that, and just a great citizen, great person, and so we're just very appreciative of what he does. And I think my staff was going to recommend some type of recognition for the gentleman.
Yeah, maybe we could give him an I Am Sandy award.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
That's a good idea.
So he does a great job.
Yeah, so let's follow up on
really
that
cool.
for sure. Yeah.
And then Jim would like to know why it is taking so long to complete the road construction in Old Sandy.
Yes, it's been ongoing for several years now, and I tentatively say that it's winding down. So I know they're still working on curb and gutter and whatnot on what is that, 86?
Is it 8680 or 8600? I'm not sure.
I think 8600. But I still think that we'll have to follow up and get the exact timeline. I don't know that it's going to be done by the end of this year, but let me follow up on that for you.
Okay.
But it's been a multi-phase project. I think this latest installment was a couple $1 million. So anyway, they are working through it, but let me find out if it'll be done before the next winter comes.
Okay. And that's all we have.
Okay, so that was great. Thank you. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about Scott and his department and what they do. I thought before we log off, maybe you could just kind of give us a quick update on some events that are coming up, or just anything you want the public to know about as you get into your busy season.
Yeah, for sure. So I think all of the residents were mailed out a copy of our summer brochure. And so it should have hit your mailbox like around April 14th, I think it was, right around that area. So that has all of our events and all of our park and rec programming, has a trails guide, a park guide, has ways you can register online for with teams or single person events. And then you can always register in person at our park and rec office. But upcoming, we have, Saturday, so tomorrow, we have a Fiesta 5K.
Big race.
So this is new. It's going to be at River Oaks Golf Course. So we've been running it for 11 or 12 years. I can't remember, but we usually run it from Falcon Park. So this time, we've made arrangements with the golf course to run it at River Oaks. And so they're going to stagger their tee times a little bit in the morning and give us time to get 200 people past the first hole. And it should be really fun. It's going to start at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can register the day of, so if you get there at 7:30 or so, you can register. And we expect about 200 people to be there, and it'll be a fun race in a really good atmosphere down there by the Jordan River and running through our golf course. The next thing that's probably fairly big that people really like is our family night at the skate park. So I think it's May 13th, check that date. But I think it's May 13th, and it'll be at Lone Peak Skate Park. And so what we do is we have staff there. This first one will be with our fire department, and it's a focus on safety, and we will be raffling off approved helmets to the youth. I think there's 25 or something that we raffle off for free. And then you can buy a helmet for your kids for, I think it's $6, and then Healthy Sandy offsets the cost of the helmet. So we'd rather have the kids with helmets at a good price, and they're approved helmets, they're good helmets and things like that. So we expect a lot of people at that event. And then from that Monday on, every other Monday, we have a family skate night at the park. So it's typically themed once a month. So we'll have the police department there a month. We'll have our Parks and Rec department at Carnival night one night. Awesome. We have the other departments come and show their equipment and different things. But the key, I think, is that the parents and the guardians can have the younger kids skate in the park and kind of learn and have fun with that type of group. So we're really happy with that every other Monday night during the summer.
Awesome.
We have our movies in the parks coming up, and again, check for the date on that, but it'll be coming up soon. Memorial Day is coming up, so we've been doing a lot of work in the cemetery getting that prepared for Memorial Day. And Memorial Day is typically the day that we open, or the Saturday just prior to Memorial Day, we open our splash pads, we open our swimming pools, and things like that. And then obviously we have Sandy Pride coming up. It's a huge project day for the city. We have lots and lots of citizen support for that. It's May 18th, Saturday, May 18th. And then following Sandy Pride, we have National Trails Day, which is June 1st. And we'll be working on the trail that goes from Wasatch Boulevard up to Bell Canyon Reservoir. And so we have some groups of people that have signed up to help us with that. So lots and lots of events happening. I'm forgetting a lot. But if you go to our website, you can see everything that's happening, or in the brochure that was mailed to your house. And Mayor, I just wanted to mention too, we have a fantastic staff at Parks and Rec. I mean, at golf, at Alta Canyon, in our parks and recreation and our event staff, I mean, they just do a really good job. They care about our citizens. They want our citizens to have a good time. You know, they want to have activities for all ages, you know, in the families. And so I would just encourage you, if you haven't participated with Parks and Rec, to participate with us. I think you'll have a good time with yourselves and your families.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. We have a fantastic parks department, starting at the top with Scott and all the way down through our staff. So thank you to everybody for what you do, and thank you to you guys for allowing us to serve you here at the city. And please let us know at any time what we can do to help you out. So until next month, we'll sign off.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott.